Viper's smoke, and that's not nearly the same impact that an Omen or a Brim can provide.
No, but I think there is like a certain level of safety and conditioning that you can apply with a consistent, B wall from Viper. We'll be interested to see what Curry elects to do with it. But in general, you get you definitely get value from both Brimstone and or Omen on this map. We saw version 1 breaking out the Brimstone, one of the first times I've seen that in North America for Icebox. And
Good.
yeah, and we were very quickly shown why it was impactful, and certainly we're talking about T1 and Viper here. We'll have a lot to show as Leaf leads us off with the first frag of the game.
Oh, baby. Already kicking it off. Zeta gets in on it as well. The two most recent additions to the squad get on the board. We saw Cloud9 show a little bit of aggression down B long. T1 traded out with a couple of kills of their own. And really, after all of the kerfuffle that just went down, things settle out. Now it's on T1 to rethink this. Skadoodle's able to take care of Zeta. That should give them a bit more room to work with on B.
Just an absolute brawl at long B to start. And Vice with a shock bolt in hand. Able to at least delay the spike plant for just a moment as Curry picks up the flank, but Mitch gets the better of him with a burst.
It looked good, and now should be able to rotate over. That wall's going to go up. They're still kind of... What? They had the site. Now they're going to be able to get the spike down. Skadoodle on the plant drops things down to a 1v1. Mitch, who was taking care of things elsewhere on the map, is now going to be rotating his way over through B long. Skadoodle was just 34 health, but Mitch is in even worse of a spot.
So low, Doug.
Yeah.
Gonna take one bullet.
Or maybe even, heck, at this point, just looking at him funny. Skadoodle creeping forward. Mitch might get the time. Oh, no. Just half a second. I mean, he just walked right past him. But Mitch has to continue to push forward. The wall's going to go down. Skadoodle just on the other side. He taps. Mitch continues. Now that's going to force Skadoodle out. Skadoodle with 3 on the pistol. The patient game pays off as T1 take the pistol.
Yeah, and we were talking about that spike just almost going down. I think it was a little bit of an, I think it's crazy of me to say that it's maybe an audacious Sage wall, the Battle Sage coming out from automatic right away. I appreciate the confidence and the challenge that he's willing to pose right there. However, almost loses the spike on the other side of it. Skadoodle recovers, closes out the 1v1, and it was just so close. Unfortunate for Mitch, not able to glean any information as to where Skadoodle was. Just kind of had to play off that spike tap. Nevertheless, T1 starting out 1-0 here, Doug.
Did, and there was a Bulldog, I believe, in the hands of Dazed. So we'll keep an eye on that. You presume in this situation they're going to try to get as many ult points into his hands so that they can unlock that Hunter's Fury as soon as possible. For now, no damage has been done from him quite yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. Going to use the drone, clear out some space on the site, at least get some info on where a couple of players are. But Cloud9 has been very patient so far.
Yeah, they are forced into this round, and so these SMGs that just need to close the distance just a bit more. Relics finds the first with a frenzy frag on the Skadoodle. Steps up. Next to challenge. Automatic and Daze both fall. Leaf, Mitch, and Zeta all chiming in with frags of their own.
Yeah, and the Daze is off the board. It's just down to Curry. And again, he's got 3 health. They're just going to run at him. A great response from Cloud9 after losing the pistol to even things up at 1 apiece.
Tough looks for T1. And that's not just unfortunate in the fact that, your economy's reset now, but that was just a slow A push. And really, this is where a lot of teams expect to get the bread and butter of their attack done, right? And if you're already I don't know if I would describe that as a struggle as much as a slaughter, Doug, but does not bode well for the pretense of rounds to come. That Viper wall, again, was something that we suspected would come out here towards B long, and rounded again. It is be deployed over there as Leaf gets aggressive early on at A main, clears out Spider, and understands the B play for T1 is pretty much inevitable, Doug.
It is, and you see the aggression with which Cloud9 continues to try to take space away. It was a nice shots there, but unfortunately not going to pan out. Zeta and Leaf get a couple. T1 is just down to Dazed here. He's got a classic, right? So they didn't buy very much going into it. I think I saw 1 weapon in the hands of Automatic, but that was it. Another flawless round for Cloud9 as they pick up right where they left off in the previous round.
Yeah, and for Cloud9, I got to tell you, they look so confident right now. And obviously, we're only 4 rounds in. Not a whole lot that we can go off of, but just these peaks, this aggression coming out from C9, that is not only fun to watch, but that certainly spells good fortune ahead for Cloud9 if they continue to play as such.
Does. It's certainly not fun on the receiving side. Might be fun to watch and might be fun to try to pull off, but certainly less ideal if it's coming your way. Interesting, similar, and look at how they've already adapted, right? Like, it was Leaf who went aggressive, Zeta's following up, and this time Spider far more cautious, but understanding there's a good chance that that a player from Cloud9 has already pushed up, and he's right.
Yeah, and Leaf is hunting Spider right now. You got to imagine that he's, either reviewed the VODs or gotten some info that he's over here to begin with, but nothing to come of it yet.
Well, and again, it was the previous round, right? He saw him push up. He was able to get the kill, and now they both have read each other in this situation, and they're just kind of waiting each other out. The Cloudburst is there. That should give him a decent cue of where he was, but the spike, meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, hasn't made its way down yet. Looks like they're going to try to play around that Viper wall here in a minute. Yeah,
they're going to have to wait for that recharge for the Viper wall. We'll go up. Spike soon to follow. Zeta now catching up on this mid lurk. Might just throw a wrench in plans, but then again.
30 seconds left.
Spider had a chance at something there. He had the info from the Cloudburst. Not able to land the shots. 24 seconds left in the round, folks, and all members for both teams are still alive as Curry slowly starting to get the spike down. You're starting to see some of the shock darts come through, not going to connect. Zeta's the first to fall.
Bulldog bursts don't quite connect, but Spider cleans up. 4-on-1 post plant now. C9's Blue on the ropes. Just Mitch now. Struggling, 2 HP. Not a prayer in the world right now for him to somehow come out with a round win, but that's escape with a frag or 2.
Yeah, maybe
get that lockdown.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Try to get one more, try to get the lockdown. Mitch drops. But again, it was a great response from T1. Lex, we were just talking about how good Cloud9 looked, how they were playing with confidence, how they were really kind of reading the situation and reading T1 well so far. But T1 responded very well there.
Yeah, and that's C9 continuing their bonus, keeping their SMGs. It's not as though it's some critical, challenge of their confidence now at this point. And really, this is the round where you'll see this. You have Zeta already grabbing an operator. The economy's still well and good for C9, so this isn't exactly a wild investment by any means.
Oh, but it's B.
So the test will be whether or not they'll be able to find anything here early.
Patience from Zeta, hasn't shown himself. He's going to get a chance. I believe he saw just a hair. That's a shot. Zeta goes just a bit wide, not going to connect. Mitch is there on the other side as well. He's going to get pushed back, and T1 manages to get past the initial line of defense of Cloud9.
Right, and there is, you got Resurrection for Sage from T1. Got a Showstopper in hand. You got Hyperspit available, and it's just a matter of getting into position to be able to use these things, as Zeta is making them be ever so cautious on this B approach. But this is what the Viper Wall is very good at doing, right?
Right.
Take this long B ground. Spider picks up the A defaulter. That's Leaf.
Yeah,
and suddenly the A side is wide open, Doug.
And that's huge. You saw them use the Roomba in B and intentionally make a lot of noise. You saw Rage jumping around Skadoodle was. While that was happening, the spike was already making its way towards A. That was the play all along. And then Spider getting that pick on the lurker really unlocks the entire site. Once that goes down, they funnel all the way in. They're going to put up the Sova wall as well. The Sage wall, thanks to Automatic, as they get the spike down. But the lockdown has been used. The thing is, for T1, they've got every single ultimate they could possibly want. There's one of the showstoppers. Skadoodle does connect onto Relics, but the lockdown cleans him up. Spider there, tapped it. Hunter Fury is going to be used as well as Mitch going hunting, trying to find where Skadoodle is. At this point, he realizes time's up, but he lands his shots anyway. Mitch gets one. He's going to drop at the hands of Spider. 2 members left on the side of Cloud9. Spider with 3. He's going to dash his way forward, but the defuse comes through. He gets 4, but the round goes in favor of Cloud9.
Wow. 4 huge frags coming out for Spider off of the Blade Storm. And man, I thought when Daze used his Hunter's Fury, he had cleared Vice off of the defuse, but he does not. able to stick. C9 steals that one away. And there were, what, 4 ultimates invested into that round for T1. That is a huge win for C9. I don't think they recovered the operator. I might be wrong there, but nevertheless, T1 able to keep several players alive, keep that economy still rolling. So not the end of the world. But again, that is a boon. And certainly this is a frustrating position to be in if you're T1 to get that stolen away from you. Nevertheless, you have long B control once again. And I was starting to say this last round, Doug. Relics does get pushed back. Once you've accomplished this, once you've pushed back, you know, the primary B players for the defense, this Viper wall denies information. Meaning you have to aggressively peek, you have to use utility in some way to get information where T1 is moving on the map. Right, it cost Leaf in the previous round. He fell while he was trying to get a little bit of aggro, find information. But here, all 5 players from T1 are poised and ready to go here at B.
They swapped out. See, Curry was watching the flank, but now he's switched over with the Sova. That means they're going to try to use the Viper's Pit here if they can get into a decent spot. Automatic taking care of Relic certainly is going to help, and there's the Viper's Pit that we just called. Mitch in a good spot, trying to use a bit of utility to fend them back as you have 2 members of Cloud9 pushing in through flanks. Leaf going to be the first one there, going in through B long. We'll see if he gets in on the action as Curry takes care of Mitch elsewhere on the map. Days holding that flank. Oh, Leaf! Leaf does him dirty, and he drops the paranoia as well, continuing to push forward, but that Viper's Pit is still so difficult to deal with. Naturally, all it takes is a Sova dart as Leaf already gets 3. He's looking for more. It's just down to Curry. Curry with 1, not able to finish off the heroics. They're going to get the defuse. A great round by Cloud9.
Wow, and that's all Leaf right there. He just goes huge in that round off of the flank, and, you know, T1's ready for it for the most part. It's not as though this is some crazy play that he's making. Fortunately, he just gets the better of everybody.
Dude.
Dazed gets deleted. You think even at this point, Doug, Viper Pit still up. The Leaf claims 2 more before Curry's left all and is lonesome in a 1v3. Nothing to be done there. Now it's 4-2. C9 firmly in lead now.
Well, and I also love how Vice played that specifically around the Viper's Pit, right? Like, drop a recon dart in there, man. And he got plenty of info from it. I think 2 kills. I believe it was 2, maybe just 1, but there were kills that came from that. So it's just the ability to negate that ultimate, to negate the denial of information, to take space away with something so simple, which is very well countered, very well played by Cloud9.
It's an aggressive tube peek coming out from Zeta with that operator, which, you know, he might not get any frags out of this just by virtue of the fact that there's nobody on T1 around.
Right.
But he's able to cut rotations, and he's going to be able to have a ton of information as to where T1 is on the map.
Hey, I think we'll come back to this. Nice shots from Mitch there. He's going to get the spike down as well, but Cloud9, very patient, still not fully rotating over. Now they're starting to creep their way. Spider, once again, on the lurk, seeing if he can get anything going. We'll see how that pans out. Lex, you and I have had this conversation around how when Icebox first joined the fold, people hit A a lot. But you were actually one of the advocates for saying B should be what's more often exposed, and so far for T1, that's been their bread and butter.
Spider's in a site alone all by himself, Doug, because Cloud9 has entrusted Zeta basically to make sure that if they fall off of B, he's going to make them pay for it. We'll find out here.
Nope. Nope, Spider and Daze both coming up huge. As they get a couple of picks, you see Leaf using the from the shadows, but they've got to hurry, baby, get on that horse. They're going to be able to get the spike down. They should have enough time. And Cloud9 is in a decent spot in that they're going to be able to pinch in from multiple areas. It's not going to be one-dimensional in their attempt at a retake. But T1, because of the numbers advantage and because of where they're positioned, they're in a really good spot to hold this back. Of course, as I say that, Daze drops.
This flank is actually going to pose so much of an issue. You've got Spider turned around. He's going to find the first one on the mid, but now it's a 2-on-2, and Leaf lives.
Did he get it to half? I don't know if he got it to half. But yeah, Leaf just with 10 health here. The spike continuing to tick away. You wonder here if he, I mean, with just 10 health left, if he just kind of plays this out to try to ruin some of their economy, maybe try to catch them in it. Right? Like what you're doing is you're just buying, trying to create some noise, see if they'll stay, maybe get a pick on the way out. Yep. Oh no!
Unlucky.
5
HP.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing his best. You're in a situation where didn't get 500, I don't think. You're 10 HP. Just a really tough spot to be in, and I cannot get over how uncomfortable that duel looked from Zeta. But nevertheless, T1 able to get it done. 4-3, and to your point, Doug, yeah, I think this is something that more and more teams are going to realize, and certainly T1 is exploiting that there. But being able to deny information towards the B side of the map, you know, if you're consistently conditioning the other team to, ooh, really classic Zeta, able to at least deal some damage. I think he's going to be able to get. Never mind.
Oh, what?
Never mind. Just gets decapitated on his way out. Days being the dealer of that. Now already T1's in a 5v3, and to follow it up, you gotta wonder. T1 not really showing any kind of willingness to commit it to the site, and wisely so. C9 weak, wounded, and reeling. You know, if you know where the majority of C9 is, there's no reason to commit to A there. Just regroup, head back towards B, use that Viper wall that you put there in the first place, and safely put the spike down.
Yeah, this round kind of fell apart at the seams for Cloud9. Mind you, all they had was pistols, right? Like, they didn't have a ton to work with to begin with, but really nice spray transfer from Daze. Okay. Really nice spray transfer from Daze to open up the round, get a couple of picks, and then at that point, if you're T1, I mean, the world is your oyster, right? Like, you can do whatever the heck you want. You can go anywhere you want, and you saw them, even with those picks, not fully commit, start to pull back over to B. They've managed to get the spike down, and now, you know, if you're Vice, maybe you take an exit frag, like a thank you for your troubles, but ultimately Curry deals the final blow. T1 survives with 4 into the next round as they knot things up at 4 apiece.
Yeah, no consolation prizes there for Vice. However, oh, that is just dirty. Love to see it. The T1, I mean, this is a team where we might not be able to extrapolate too much on it now. Just, you know, small sample size, not a whole lot of matches played with this roster yet. But ultimately, weeks, months from now, you know, the strength of a T1 roster where you've got the likes of Automatic, Dazed, Skadoodle, really seasoned veteran gamers, like, these guys are going to play with discipline, and they're going to play together, and that is what I think they're expecting to have as an ace in their sleeve on this Icebox pick, because, you know, not every team in the game is going to... And that is a skill jump from one end of the double stack to green. Leaf collects a double tap onto the head. Skadoodle, that hurts. T1 to start things out, but there is a resurrection available. Hunter's Fury might negate that.
There is, yeah, you've got the Hunter's Fury. They also have a decent idea of...
Ooh, here comes.
Nope.
Hunter's Fury out.
Hunter's Fury, you called it. Vice, not gonna get... Oh my gosh, they get away with murder. Right, they're able to pull him back. Well, maybe not get away from murder as they brought someone back from the dead, but either way, they managed to get away with it. Relics using a nade to get a kill onto Skadoodle. Little raise on raise as Cloud9 starts to continue to push up across B long, take some space away, and force T1 elsewhere. They're choosing to go up the middle of the map. We'll see if they can get in.
30 seconds left.
Mitch holding that off angle at Boiler, holding the lockdown out.
Well, you can tell he wanted to, and then Vice got another kill, and he's like, well, maybe we don't have to. Yeah.
I'm sure he regrets it now. Now we're just down to a 2-on-2, 10 seconds remaining. Relics over at screen, scrambling to get back towards the A site.
Oh,
Daze
the
will
showstopper.
promptly and safely put it down.
One enemy remaining.
Showstopper connects. Around it's just Spider alone.
Beautiful.
It's not Spider anymore. Well played by Cloud9 there as they get the defuse. And even, you're right, he probably regretted it in that moment. But all's well that ends well.
Indeed. Man, that was really, you got to think, Automatic, that was a gut check moment where he's like, perhaps Sova's over at A. Like, maybe this is just going to work, but everybody steps away, make sure that you don't collect any tags. Skadoodle did eat a couple, I think, chunks of the Hunter's Fury, but ultimately the paint shells do him in from Relics. And that raised utility coming up huge in round 9, excuse me. Now 5-4. Cloud9 Blue leads by 1, narrow margin. Got Hunter's Fury available for T1. You have the Blade Storm, and you've got a mostly full buy. T1, despite losing that prior round, still very comfortable with already 4 rounds in this half, Doug.
Right, and they don't have to, like, Spider has a Spectre, but again, because of the Blade Storm, he doesn't have to play as aggressively. Just narrowly missing on the Paranoia allows him to push forward, but again, the Killjoy turret pushes him back. He does get info, though, understanding at least that much of what's ahead of him.
Yeah, and understanding the posture of C9 right now, typically when this B play is coming out from T1 to claim this territory, Cloud9 will play 3, sometimes 4 members over towards this side of the map, but Leaf has been committed towards this yellow position, and there it is, already cleared out by the paint shell. Skidoo finds him.
Dude, and look at the conditioning that T1 has done for Cloud9, where it's just now that the Jet is making his way over, because Spider has been so hell-bent on taking his way towards A, they have to respect it. Now they start to rotate over, and by the time he gets here, it's too late. Zeta's by himself in a 1v4. He has the op. Maybe he gets a pick on the way out, but you've got to think a win here is keeping the op.
Absolutely, and it really hasn't drawn much success for C9 thus far, but still a huge financial investment. Is not something you want to just throw away here. But yeah, Doug, you said it, man. The mastery from T1. I understand why now they are comfortable enough to pick, as Zeta gets hunted down by Daze, comfortable enough to pick a map like Icebox where, you know, we've only seen them play it a couple times. They've had not so stellar, but not bad results on it. Definitely a wake-up call here for C9, already yielding 5 rounds on the attack side of Icebox. That is a tough ask for C9 to just recover here when they're on pistols, Doug. I mean, this is spelling dire straits for potentially the entire half when, you know, typically, you know, a round like this, you'd say should go the way of T1, so 6-5, potentially 7-5 rounding out the half. That is rough.
Rough indeed. Leaf already getting pushed back. See if he can use that Sheriff. Make some magic happen. First shot going just a bit wide. But nothing else doing. Curry once again on the flank. You see him playing back in his spawn. And just ensuring that no shenanigans, no monkey business take place. Meanwhile, the rest of the team has made his way onto A. Their way, excuse me, onto A. And they're just mowing Cloud9 down. Mitch is alone. Nice shots for Mitch to take care of Curry. Trying to hold things down at home, but the spike is surely going to go down. And T1 should take a 1-round lead.
Spike planted.
And Mitch, he's had that lockdown for a few rounds now. Spoke of it.
Yeah. Yep.
This is definitely not the situation you want to use it in, but there's no ult points to build towards.
No way.
Maybe grab a handle or some such in this. You know, whatever you can, but
there was a moment where they were both standing. They had sightlines on one another. They were standing next to each other.
With their backs to each other. It was weird.
Yeah, but they just didn't, they didn't look.
Turn around, man.
As Mitch gets away somehow. Now, surely...
Ninja?
Oh, I think he's going to try it. Well, again, it's just going to be a tap, right? See if you can pull people in. Skadoodle sticks around long enough.
Discipline.
Well played. Well,
Last round
gosh, well played by
half.
T1.
Yeah, they look good. And I sang the praises of Cloud9 3 rounds in. You know, they look good. They're playing aggressive. They're taking map control. They're decisive. And it's T1 throughout the rest of this game that has shown me that exact same, you know, storyline where they're playing methodical. They're playing very disciplined. They are manipulating Cloud9 to playing the way they want. And then they're able to get aggressive on top of that and just find the frags. It's impressive to watch Cloud9. Their answer now, moving 3 players over to Long B.
3 players over to Long B, no op in their hands. It's fancy footwork, but I think the information was gathered by Daze anyway. He saw 2 at least. That should give him a decent idea, yeah, of what's available on the map. The thing is, available is a very loose term here, as Mitch gets the opener, and there's utility all over the place.
That's huge. Mitch just saving his team basically from what would be an all-out T1 rush had he lost that duel. The rotations are going to be able to come in now for Cloud9, and that lockdown that I've mentioned a couple times, this is the time to use it. Of course, last round of the half, Doug, but this would be the situation where they're going to plant the spike, drop it down.
You will not
Just waiting to see, and the thing is that, all right, here we go. There's the lockdown. You hear the res came through as well, and that's going to push T1 right back. The thing is, Curry was not playing back in his spawn. Right, so definitely not the same amount of space, the same knowledge that they would have had otherwise, so they have to be far more precarious about how they make their way back over around. Meanwhile, Mitch plays this very well, where he just takes all the space away that came from the lockdown, and with that comes a kill onto Spider. Skadoodle's able to trade it out, however, as there are only 20 seconds left on the round. The Viper's wall is going to go up, lead them to think that there might be something going on there. Once again, he has to stay, as Skadoodle uses a showstopper, and Vice rips him down and takes him out. Not a factor any longer, as Automatic starting to get the spike down, but no, it's going to drop. 5 seconds left. They've got to go. I don't know if they're going to have enough time. Leaf going in aggressive, lands a shot, denies that. The round is lost as Cloud9 taken away from T1.
A few times now we've seen heroics from Leaf essentially win rounds for Cloud9, and there is another. He's rocking 16 frags, 7 deaths on the board. Leaf feeling good going into half number 2 here, Doug.
Yeah, not bad. But look, man, we talked about this. I think overall, I was really impressed with how T1 played this first half, right? Like, yeah, there were some crazy heroics by Leaf, as we saw a couple there, but again, the conditioning, the way that they have forced the Jet on the side of Cloud9, whose name is escaping me right now, to really stay home. Thank you, Zeta. To stay home, right? Like, they have to respect, or Zeta has to respect what T1 has been doing around the map, namely in the hands of Spider, and that's why you've seen a couple of times where Cloud9 started to rotate, but it was too late. Now we'll see on the attacking side what they can do as they test their mettle here. 6-6 going into the second half. Cloud9 leaning very heavily, essentially tipping over towards A, as it looks like that's where they're going to want to play. Mitch, the one exception, is he's keeping an eye on the rest of the map, really.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how T1 brings this defense into the fold, as Zeta's already dashed. Going right into the nest at A site. Duel will unfold.
Zeta went all the way in there. Nice crossfire. Zeta's able to take care of one. Relics got tagged up pretty bad. Zeta drops, but that's fine. They got everything that they wanted. They're going to get on to B. Mitch is going to be the first one there. Hey, guys, it's safe. Come on over. The spike's going to go down as well. And now it's going to be on T1 to mad dash their way back over to try to retake the site.
Yeah, Curry was lingering for a while over here at B, opted to go help out towards mid, and so now they'd have to clear all of this territory, and Automatic will get the first one on a Leaf. That's the big knife in the back play that could have unfolded. There is still one player towards mid. I believe that's Relics, but I wonder whether or not he's going to get the better of Daze. Then he doesn't. Frenzy too fresh for him. Finds one more. Now it's just one player Vice over here at yellow. And this is a actually doable. Look at the HPs. Almost.
Oh, all right. He should be able to get it. He bought time. Like, he made that close. He made that uncomfortable. But unfortunately, for them, it just falls just a bit short.
Yeah, I thought that shock dart was going to get dazed off the defuse. It doesn't, and it ends up getting the other kill instead. I think it actually hit him in the chest. But, you know, you're sitting here at 7-6. You take the pistol. T1, man, they are feeling good. You got to imagine that this is, you know, not just, you know, IGLing on the attack side, netting you round wins that maybe C9 in their minds at least might not be happy with, but defensively, if you're staunch, if you're locking down a pistol round, cleaning up the rounds to follow, this could be an early 1-0 map start for T1, dare I say it. But still too early to tell. A lot of rounds left to be played.
Plenty of map ahead of us. There's a paranoia that's going to be coming out. Zeta follows it with a dash, and Spider.
Oh.
Spider already got two as Leaf and Vice drop. They handle the flash and dash just fine, as they still have full members in front of them. Spider still looking for a bit more, as Mitch tries to get the spike down. Zeta going aggressive, able to take care of one, but he's going to get pushed back. But Relics comes up huge. Automatic takes care of Zeta, drops things down to a 3v2 in favor of T1.
Series of awkward fights. As we said, 3-on-2 now for T1, and explosive plays for C9 this far have not worked out too hot. Relics will fall. Spider with 3 incredible frags on the round, opening with 2 Sheriff headshots. Doug, T1 is here to play.
Dude, Spider's nasty with it, man. And like,
6.
I remember when Spider first joined we saw him play, I think it was, he exclusively played Omen. And dude, he's like cracked out of his mind, right? You can put him on an agent with no abilities and he's still going to be able to put up frags. He's very good, but putting him on a duelist, you see him kind of flex and like relax a bit more and play with more comfort and more aggression, more confidence, and you're seeing that on the scoreboard. Now on the other side, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Leaf putting up a similar stat line on an Omen.
Indeed. Curry gathering information towards long B. He'll have to call for some rotates and yield this territory. Cloud9 is spread out in a majority towards long B default, but there is a player near tube at mid. One player towards A. That's Zeta. He collects a sheriff frag to the face. And suddenly that default that I just spoke of has collapsed. The spike is still in spawn for C9. And despite the fact that they're on pistols here, they are creating some room. Leaf finds one.
Dazed. Right
Two.
into the lap of Leaf. Nade pushes him back. Leaf's able to welcome him. Play a little ring around the Rosie, and Curry wins that one, and he gets a second one onto Leaf and Relics. Mitch still, however, causing problems for T1. Mitch has been absolutely imperative in the success of Cloud9 to this point. He's got a chance to do something again here. 1v2, lands a shot, drops things down to a 1v1, but the reload is there. He's going to get pushed back. The alarm bot pushes him back.
30 seconds left.
Managed to get the reload off just narrowly. Missing the last few shots. Having this spike. Oh, Mitch goes huge to win the round for Cloud9. Holy cow.
Spider definitely had some sick sheriff. Oh, that was a lot of S words in a row. Alliteration,
Yeah, dude.
please hold me back. Spider with the sheriff, just 2 rounds in a row. We've seen 2Ks coming out with that weapon, but Mitch says, you know what? I see your 2 sheriff kills, and I raise you 1 more. Decisively winning that 1v1. That is a huge clutch win for C9.
Yeah, and like, I was just mentioning it. He's been so imperative for Cloud9 this map. And he just answers the call again.
Answers the call again, and man, just crisp, clean locks here, boys. T1 still hold the lead by 1. You have a Hunter's Fury available to you on Cloud9. Leaf immediately feeling the wrath of Curry and Kitchen. That early Omen lurk is tough to pull off, I think, when you haven't made much map presence around pretty much anywhere, right? Like there was a little bit of A presence made, maybe. Nothing towards long B. All eyes on mid. There's still 2 players locked in on tube here, so a little over anxious from Leaf perhaps, but Bladestorm is already out here for Spider. And there's 3 players close by on A site, or at least close mid screens. 40 seconds remain on the clock, and Cloud9, despite the fact that they're all, for the most part, grouped up here towards A long, check out Mitch, who's bypassed the Viper wall, crept up far enough to take contact from Snowman, but he gets decapitated by automatic. Now it's 5-on-3, Doug.
Yeah, man, you can tell they were wanting to rotate over to B, but as soon as he dropped, they went right back to A. They don't really have a choice to go elsewhere, and Spider's there to greet him. A flawless round. Nice shots from Spider with the Bladestorm to take care of business. T1 up by 2.
Man, every team should have a sick Overwatch aimer. You know what I mean? Like, we see it with Sinatra, you know, you see it with Spider now. Just give me a duelist that's just gonna make plays like this all day. Spider has been taking it to Cloud9 and put T1 another round win here, 9-7, Doug.
And you see Cloud9 not gonna have a ton to work with. A couple sheriffs, some Marshall, not much else. Meanwhile, a pretty standard start from T1, wall off tube. Move that area of the map. That way they don't have to play around kitchen. They can turn their attention elsewhere.
It's interesting. Mitch is getting a little bit more confident over here at Long B. Spider taking the first duel with Zeta, who had no idea he was top screens. But there are 3 players over here on the A site, so that makes sense why he maybe was assuming that the third would not be there. Nevertheless, Cloud9 redirected back towards middle and B. Mitch has already taken up this ground, but Curry over here not only does he have a pretty keen one-way off that poison orb, but you also have a Viper's Pit available to you on the retake, Doug.
Yep. Oh, gosh. Nice shots from Curry there on Vice. Spike's going to go down. Daze takes care of one as well. The middle of the map is open. Now they can push in from different angles. Nice shots from Relics. And it's just down to Mitch. Gosh. Mitch, I will almost teed him up again. But Mitch drops there. Unfortunate for Cloud9. T1 take a 3-round lead. They still have those ultimates to work with. Like you mentioned, the Viper's Pit. They're also going to have the Hunter Shuri and the Res. But on the other side, for Cloud9, they've got a ton at their disposal as well. This should be a banger of a round.
Yeah, there's been some spicy sheriff shooters throughout, and I cannot express how happy that makes me. It's just one of the more enjoyable weapons, I think, to see frags come out of, Doug.
I might have to ask the Observer to show us those stuff. We're going to have to look at that again. Spider with a big shot on the op early on. Deny any aggression towards a site. You also see the Viper's Pit has been used right off the bat to say that essentially B long is not an option, right? They can't go A because they know the op is there. B long is taken away because of Viper's Pit. You're taking away a lot of options from Cloud9 here.
Yeah, I feel like Cloud9 is slowly being strangled by T1, both on attack and now here on defense. As I say that, Leaf, thorn in the side of Automatic, who he lost the first couple of duels, but not this time. Comes out on top, and it's Curry in the Viper's Pit, getting outed by Relics. Destroyed. 4-on-3 now.
Yeah, dude, Curry was alone in a 1v3 there. I mean, best case scenario, you get a pick there and try to delay things, but he falls. Cloud9 have control of B. They're going to get the spike down as well. Now T1 has an interesting decision to make, right? They're outnumbered, but they can choose to go for it or at least try to trap him in and get a couple of exits. There's still some time here. There's still some decisions to be made.
Have a showstopper on hand, but I haven't seen... Oh! Finds one.
Oh! No!
Showstopper's trade.
That's going to drop things down to a 1v1. Spider using the Cloudburst to try to get some space as he tries to stick the defuse. Vice going through the smoke. Spider swings. Oh my gosh, Spider! No way you did that!
Almost.
No way!
Oh, man. This is the second to spare. Maybe, you know, there's a universe somewhere where he does come up with that clutch. Nevertheless, those were some impressive frags.
Dude, my headset almost went flying across the room.
Relax, man. It's got a lot of Valorant left.
Woo. Check my heart rate here. Woo. That was just nuts.
That's fun.
I mean, dude, the showstopper's missing. Spider landing that shot, and he had gotten it to half, but like you said, it was just a second, right? Just a second off, and that could have been something really special.
Automatics had enough of this duel at 2. They'll wall it early. Man, we are 19 rounds into this game. Dazed, hit me with a Hunter's Fury one time, man. Just once during this game. Would have been great for that post plant, fortunate. But also still have a res. Sign of Automatic. And Spider opening things up again.
Yep, Skadoodle getting in on it as well. Itch drops it, and he gets the lockdown as well. Nice shots from Zeta. Drop things down to a 3-2. Mitch should be able to get the spike down. It created enough room for them to get onto the site. Zeta, clean snap, not good for the second, as Curry wins that. And Mitch, once again, in a 1vx. He's got 34 health. Not anymore. Curry takes care of him. T1's going to get the defuse, and they're going to take a 3-round lead.
Man, that is a few rounds in a row now. I don't want to say 3 and be wrong, but at least the third time this half where Spider's taking a bear operator pick towards A main, and Cloud9's been caught out. You know, you gotta at least expect that he'll be there at this point. I think that they are doing what they can. You do see Cloudburst throughout to at least eliminate some of those angles, but Spider just able to adapt, able to adjust. One regardless. And Cloud9, you know, Zeta almost brought it back there, playing from that top 4-10 position, pipes area. But I'll be honest, like there hasn't been a whole lot of success for Cloud9 anywhere on this map. But A definitely has seemed to cost them a lot more than they've gained time and again. But right away, fast B play here, Doug.
Yeah, and it's interesting. The wall's not going up pipe. That means they can take that, and that's exactly what they do. They've managed to get into kitchen. They have full control of B site here. Well, oh, Spider making me eat my words as he takes care of 2. Vice trades him out. But they should, well, no, things
Leaf again.
look
Just
interesting.
able to get up into kitchen and into the backside of T1. I mean, exposing the weaknesses is that Omen lurk, and there is just so much to be taken when you have an agent that is able to just bypass a lot of this
Remaining.
frequently. And now Skadoodle shutting it down for just a moment, but that from the shadows towards A, no spike in hand, not a whole lot here for Leaf to just immediately turn in his favor, and already T1 getting set up for any possibility of a Leaf clutch.
Now, Skadoodle, there's no crossfire. Skadoodle lands the shots, takes care of Leaf, and wins the round. And again, we saw it at the beginning. Automatic put that wall up on A right off the bat, right? And that, by and large, the majority of the rounds where that wall has been invested has been in Tube. So the wall goes up, Tube is open. Baby, Tube's free for the taking, and that's exactly what they do. They take that, they get into kitchen, they take B, and it looked good, and then Spider happened.
Yeah, and Leaf's been consistently trying to be this thorn in the side of mid, you know, trying to get up through Tube, and I'm amazed at the amount of success that he's able to find, despite the fact that T1 knows that he's doing that, right? They're not clueless to it, they're not getting surprised by it. He's just purely winning his duels. Impressive stuff from him, regardless of whatever he's doing on the individual side. It is now 12-8 in map point here. Doug, T1 looking so strong.
Very strong, have 2 ults to work with as they try to put Cloud9 away, but Zeta, at least initially, responds with a bit before Spider takes him out. 4v4 here. As that quickly changes, Leaf gets one, trades it out again. Back and forth as Vice tries to turn things over and equalizes down to a 2v2 here. Mitch has been very patient. He's had the spike for a long time, and he's just been today. He hasn't moved at all.
Plenty of time left on the clock. But with this lurk from Relics, expected to take a little bit of time. You gotta at least expect that he's gonna work up, try and get a backstab on the Spider perhaps. And, you know, Curry's none the wiser. Spider has no idea. It's only a matter of time here, Doug.
He's got to check the 50.
One enemy remaining.
There's one.
30 seconds
And
left.
that should give Mitch some room, right? So yeah, as soon as that pick comes through, Mitch feels the ability, the comfort to work his way forward. And then the room, but just buys enough time to where Curry has to sit. That buys them room for the spike to go down. See a couple of alarm bots going out, the turret as well. Be an additional line of defense, but Curry gets one. Relic swings. I look diced for a minute, Curry with 3, but Relic stops the chaos from happening as Cloud9 get to 9.
It's a huge play from Relics, not only the flank, but finishing out the 1v1. I mean, Curry has looked cracked at points in this game, and even right there, you know, the tantalizing opportunity to collect 2 headshots in a 1v2 in quick succession almost appeared there. Relic supporting his teammate for the trade nicely. Cloud9, you know, I've been singing the praises of T1 because of the way that they've been handling this map, but Cloud9 has already exploited some of these weaknesses on T1 on the defensive side, and I gotta wonder, is it enough this far into the game with 3 rounds remaining to push it to overtime? If Cloud9 can do it, this would be huge. You know, at least for the morale, the ability to win the map, of course, but it doesn't seem like they're playing poorly. It doesn't seem like they're playing unconfident. It is just purely T1's game thus far. Again, there are several ultimates available to them. A Hunter's Fury, which has not been used, I don't believe, a single time by Daze in this game.
Blocking sight.
Showstopper, Rez, Viper's Pit. T1's got an arsenal here. Cloud9 wisely opting to take this anti-eco very cautiously, just feeling things out, making sure they're not running into any crazy stacks, and they might just do so here in a few moments. 3 players already on the B site, moving through kitchen, and
You should run.
there's the lockdown to start out. And Doug, a lot of controversy, I say controversy, but discussion between you and I about using ultimates on ecos.
30 seconds left.
I like this decision here from C9 to just play it safe.
They play it safe. They get the spike down. T1 still all up, and as you mentioned, they have all those ultimates to work with. See if they can get anything going here. Got Zeta on the flank. Left to check, that can be problematic, but again, you've got to buy enough time for him to get in a position to make something happen. Days into the Doodle, get a couple apiece, but there are the rifles from Cloud9 to give them the advantage, and it goes from bad to worse. It's just down to automatic. He's got a sheriff. He had a kill, but that was all he had as Cloud9 take another one.
12-10. Just 2 rounds separate the teams.
Yeah,
We knew the series was going to be spicy, though, right?
Yeah, and like the map has been that too, and you were touching on this earlier. We've talked a lot about how well T1 has played, but Cloud9, for as impressed as we've been with T1, Cloud9 have played this insanely well as well to even get to this point, right? Like they're refusing to go away. Leaf has been just committed to causing the ruckus to be the mayhem maker for Cloud9 to get them to this point. Another not very nice opening shot from Spider to give them the numbers advantage here on match point round.
Here.
We'll see what they can do here. The Viper's Pit is down once again on B long. Not a ton of room to work with there. And the op, just like we saw the last time the Viper's Pit was a problem, right? They drop it in B long. Spider gets an opening pick with the op, and then Cloud9 got to figure some stuff out. The Doodle, big pick. As Cloud9's just down to 3.
Down to 3, but they do have the initiative over here at the A site. Dark cover comes out. Recon bolt into the back of the site, and Spike goes down cleanly. So 4 on 3. The only thing that I could really say about the post plant here is you do have a res on the side of T1, which they will surely use on the retake. So Leaf opting to play up here means, you know, he's going to try and do what he can to maybe get 2, maybe stop the res from going down. We'll find out here.
Remember, the Hunter Fury is a problem as well. Leaf not even able to get one. There's that res that you mentioned. Skadoodle joins no fold again. Their final Hail Mary, if you will, for Cloud9 should be that Hunter Fury. Skadoodle goes in, not able to land the shots. Mitch punishes him for it. There's the Hunter's Fury. Vice good for 1. Spider getting it to got it past half. It looks like they're going to get the defuse. They do, ladies and gentlemen. T1 take Icebox.
Impressive stuff from T1. Even to close it out there, showing a lot of discipline, taking their time on the retake, you know, working into the res, making sure he's covered.